So now that you're a member, the idea here is that you use this booklet as the presentation along with the small pre-listing booklet that IA has also made available to you. Or you use both of these resources as a support to what you're already doing. So let's look at each page of this presentation and some scripts and strategies that you could employ around it. I want to start at page 1. The presentation is called Choices for a very good reason. There are more independent agencies out there than group offices, with more salespeople on the ground. Each of those offices has total autonomy over how they represent a home. No one tells you what to do. No hidden agendas that support a group's own presentation strategy. Just whatever the most effective marketing strategy that is required for a vendor to sell their home. These strategies work in your area, in your suburb if necessary, so that it all adds up to more choice as a seller. Take a look now at page 2. I don't think you need to read this through for the vendors. I think it's something they can go through for themselves. It's more a visual in support of the presentation itself. But it is important, however, that you know what is on that page. It works through the vendor chooses an independent agent to sell their home. The marketing is tailor-made, structured for them in their area for effectiveness. As we'll show them further on in this presentation, IA members have strategies that a lot of other agencies cannot use. It means more buyers to their door, more chance of a faster sale. And it talks about the culture of IA, that is not to just list them and leave them, but to work with a vendor to get their goals met in a way that makes any vendor want to recommend you and come back to you. You should refer to this as part of the setting up of the presentation before you get into the actual presentation proper. Take a look now at page 3. This page is also about the setup, especially if the vendors have had other agents in before you or coming in after you. Here's how I would use that page. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, we know from research there are 5 things that are on your mind right now as you look to decide who to list with. You're thinking that you actually do have a choice of agent to go with. We get that. You're wondering what price I'll be recommending today. You'll be thinking about the marketing and how that should run. You'll be wondering about the costs involved in all of this, including the commission. And you're possibly wondering what sort of customer service you'll be receiving from both me and the company I work with. I want to make the point that no one of these points should be how you decide who to go with, but rather how all of those points meld together. For example, someone may have already told you that they'll lower their commission or chuck in some free advertising. Not much use if their strategies are not the right ones to employ here, or if they actually don't have access to all of the available ideas that we do at IA. So we need to take a holistic view of what is presented here tonight. Is that okay with you? So page 4 and 5 I love. This is also available as a poster you can use in presentations, and you can get that from IA. It fits with the whole independent philosophy. You as an agent are independent and can do whatever it takes, and they are individual sellers. Their goals are different to anybody else's. This part of the presentation is the beginning of finding out how they want to go about this. You can use this at the first inspection or in the actual table presentation itself. There are 4 parts to how it goes. Let's look at them now. So Mr. and Mrs. Smith, at IA, we see there are 4 aspects of selling to think about. First of all, we need strategies to take into account the market we're in right now. This is where you go through the various types of market and how they can affect what is about to happen. Point out which market you're in and the characteristics of that market and how it might affect what is going to happen. Point out that they need to know this and take it into account as they decide how to go about marketing their property. The second part of this is the type of seller they are. Have some fun here. It works through from a seller that doesn't care whether they sell, all the way to someone who needs to sell right now. Ask them which one they think they are and see what their response is. Ask them which buyers they're looking for. It's point number 3. All the way from buyers that don't even know they want to buy to a buyer who's desperately looking for a home and needs to buy in the next few days. The answer should be, of course, that they want all of these buyers. And finally, are they high profile or low profile? What sort of marketing did they have in mind? And once you've been through them all, you can use this chart to summarize what they want to do. It goes something like this. So we're in a seller's market right now, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Lots of buyers and fewer homes for sale. You've told me you want an answer in a few weeks. You see that we need all of the buyers, every buyer we can get our hands on. And you're happy to go high profile and attract every buyer we can. Then you can say what is appropriate. Either it's an ideal auction, it might be an ideal quiet listing. You can use this to work consultatively with your potential vendor. Have some fun with it. Take a look now at pages 6 and 7. Don't forget, these vendors come to us for strategies. Your job is to match the available strategies to what it is they're trying to achieve. And this buyer's page does that absolutely brilliantly. I want you to say to them, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, let's talk now about the buyers. There are 3 buyer strategies we can employ for you right here. The first is around the buyers that we have. Now go through what you can do with those buyers as per the presentation. The second is the strategy around the buyers that we don't have. This is the marketing plan. You're going to go through with them in just a minute. And then thirdly, we have the potential to work with other IA members to see what buyers they also have on their databases. Now say, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, what I need you to realize here is that this is a very comprehensive way that we go about attracting every buyer we know about and every buyer we don't know about to your home. These strategies are one of the main reasons you should employ me tonight. No stone left unturned, more buyers and more opportunity to get action happening on your home. Okay, let's look at pages 8 and 9 now. Now, it's about pricing, and pricing is a huge subject that I can't cover fully in this video. But let me give you an overview of how to use this material that you have. Firstly, with price, we should be talking about price a lot less and process a lot more. And that's what we're trying to do with this program. Page 8 is the setup before you actually do the pricing. You can do it like this. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, let's talk price now. Now, price is a very complex strategy. I want you to know that we prefer to do this consultatively, that is, work with you rather than at you. You can see here there's a lot to work through, including what was your wish figure before you picked up the phone and called me this morning. The main indicator is actually what the market is suggesting your home may be marketable for, and we need to look at comparable sales, and you can see them here on page 9. So let's go ahead and do that now. But rather than just throw a whole bunch of stats at you and have you say yes or no, I'd like to work through these comparisons with you to see what the market is saying. Is that okay with you? And you go direct from there to the CMA. Now, pages 10 and 11 are in support of whatever marketing plan you work through with them. Have this page open at the time and work through your own information. Page 12 is important. One of the big 5 they told us they wanted from you when you came to present is to tell them what they should do to the home to make it either worth more or sell in a shorter time. So it's important that this is done formally and addressed in each presentation as it is here. Page 13 is huge. Every buyer that signs up for a home with IA will automatically be offered free insurance for 90 days on the property they just purchased. This is a huge differentiation, and you can now talk about it with the vendors as though you belong to the huge group that you do. Now, page 14 and 15 are probably the most important 2 pages in this presentation. They summarize why someone should list with you as an IA member. It's something that you can now add to your arsenal in terms of why they should list with your company, why they should list with you personally, and now why they should list with you as an IA member. Remember to always add to any reason you give what this means to you, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. The main reasons you need to be able to talk to are these. As an IA member, you are part of one of the largest groups in Australia. Now, what that means to a vendor is that if there's a buyer out there heading this way, the chances are you'll know about it through one of your other members. We are very connected. It's very easy for the officers to share information, all adding up to just one thing. No stone left unturned in driving buyers to your home. We are fiercely independent. We can do what we like in this area. We're not dictated to by anybody. That means we do what we know is best for you and your particular circumstances. We do the absolute best for you, not what we're told to do by anybody else. Now, overall, please understand that independent agents meet more buyers and more sellers in any one week than all of the other agencies out there put together. That simply means you're doing the best by your house and what it is you're trying to achieve. So there you have it, just an introduction to this presentation. You never need to step back in the face of competition again. There's literally no strategy that you cannot match in the marketplace with these tools at your disposal. There'll be a lot more scripts, dialogues and strategies around this presentation made available to you over the coming months through IA. It's a great time to be in business as an independent.